Hi everyone. So today I am going to discuss about how to write test case in manual testing. So if you guys have already seen my previous video, that is the test case video. So there I have mentioned that if you see my test case video, then there is some parameter we have used. So parameter means the module name, the test case ID, the tester name, test scenario, test case description, test steps, prerequisite, test priority, test data, expected results, actual results. So lots of things we have discussed on the last videos based on parameter of test case. So what parameters we are used for creating any kinds of test case? So these are the parameters. So I have already told you that in my how to write test case videos, I will discuss everything. So guys, if you have remembered that thing, okay. So now today I am going to discuss about that how we can write test case for any manual testing or any software testing. How we can write the test case. Obviously we have to maintain these all the parameter names. Okay, now I'm gonna see you one test case template, so it will be more clear for you. So this is my test case template. So how we can write any test case? So these are the basic template. So in your project you can easily use that template. Okay, now let's discuss one by one. So first we have to write one thing, that is project name, in which project we are working. So our project name, as for example, I am using Gmail. So Gmail is my project name, for example. Now for which module we are going to write the test case? The module is login module. So here the module name is login module. Basically these all are the test case parameter. Okay, so these are the test case parameter. Then created by, so you have to mention your name because you are writing the test case here. So you have to mention your name here. Now created date, in which date you are going to create the test case template. So the creation date, suppose today I am going to create the test case template. So that's why I have mentioned here today's date. So in your case, you can mention your own date, in which date you are going to create the test case template. Now, then reviewed by. Obviously, I have already discussed you. I have already told you that after writing any test case by the tester, obviously that should be reviewed by team lead or by the test lead. So reviewed by test lead. So you have to mention your test lead name here. Okay. So you have to mention your test lead name here. Then review date. So in which date the test lead are reviewing your test case. So that date you have to mention here. Okay. So this is your date. I mean, in which date you are going to create the test case. So that should be your date, and that should be your review date. Okay. So the test lead review date. So here should be the test lead review date. Okay. So now these 6 things are clear. So these are the parameters, and also these are the parameters. So everything, these are the parameters. So these 6 are the parameter, and also this green highlighted things are also the parameter. Okay. So now first parameter what I have mentioned, that is test scenario ID. So test scenario ID means, so you can easily write like this: test scenario TS underscore, then which project you are working, Gmail. Then you can also write here like login like that. You can write also like this. Okay. So test Gmail is your project name. Then what module you are going to test? The login module. Then your test ID name, test ID is 001. So you can also write 00001 or only 1. So as per your choice. Okay. So this is the test scenario ID. Now test scenario description. So obviously always the test scenario should be one line statement. Right? I have already told you test scenario should be the one line statement, because the test scenario contains lot of test case, multiple test case. Already I have discussed everything. Okay. So if you guys have not seen my test scenarios video, the test case video, then you can please check this two video. Okay, then it will be very easy for you to understand. Or in this video link or in this video description, I am pasting that two videos link. You can check it from here also. Okay, now test scenario description, verify the login functionality of Gmail login page. Means need to verify that login functionality is working perfectly or not. This is the test scenario description, and it should always one line statement. Now after test scenario description, you have to write here the test case ID. Now coming to the test case. So test case means test Gmail login. See here I have already mentioned the login here. Okay, so now for the test scenario we can only write the Gmail only, because I am going to write the test scenario based upon the Gmail. So that's why I am writing here only the test scenario Gmail 001. Now here I am writing the test scenario, that is the module name, that is the test case ID. So module name, what is the module name? Login. So test case ID, test case. So again I am telling you that one test scenario can hold multiple test case, right? So Gmail is the one scenario, and under that Gmail scenario lots of page are there, lots of module are there. So under Gmail there is one login, maybe there is one compose mail, then maybe one is the draft mail, then one is the send mail, then one is the logout, etc, etc. So lots of test case should be there, but I am writing as of example, as one example I am just writing one, that is the for login purpose. Now the test case ID is TC. So TC means test case. Here TS means test scenario. So TC underscore Gmail. Gmail is your project name. Then underscore login. Login is your module name. Why I am putting a login? Because Gmail is the main functionality. Gmail is the main project, and under that Gmail lots of modules should be present. And I am writing only one based upon only one module, that is login module. So that's why TC underscore Gmail underscore login underscore 001. So this is my test case ID, and you can see that one test case, one test scenario hold multiple test case, but test scenario is the one. So this is one test scenario that verify the login functionality of any Gmail login page, and under that I have mentioned 4 test case. So maybe in your case maybe 10 test case should be there, maybe 12 test case should be there. So as of example I am just writing 4 test case here. So that is test TC underscore Gmail underscore login underscore 001, then 002, 003, 004. Okay, so these are the test case ID. Now test case, for one test case ID, for this test case ID, what is the test case description? So I am creating the test scenario based upon the Gmail login functionality. So that's why I'm writing here enter valid username and valid password. So this is my test case description. And for second, enter valid username and invalid password. And the third, enter invalid username, valid password. And fourth, enter invalid username and invalid password. So we have to verify, we are verifying the login functionality. So that is the scenario. But under that scenario, the test case may be we are putting some valid username, valid password. Then maybe the second test case should be enter valid username, invalid password. Then third maybe enter invalid username, valid password. And fourth maybe enter invalid username and invalid password. So these are the test case description. Okay. Now we have to mention here the test steps, means how you are creating, in which steps we are going to create. So first enter valid username, then enter valid password, and then click on login button. So these are the functionality. So until unless we are clicking on the login button, we are not assuring that we are entering the valid username or valid password, right? So that's why the test steps should be enter valid username, enter valid password, and click on login button. And this is basically based upon the test case description, because in the test case description I am mentioning that enter valid username and valid password. So that's why the test steps should be enter valid username, enter valid password, and then enter click on login button, right? And the second steps should be enter valid username, enter invalid password, and then click on login button. And the third one is that enter invalid username, enter valid password, and then click on login button. And the fourth one, enter invalid username, enter invalid password, and then click on the login button. Okay, so these are the test tips. Okay, now precondition. So precondition means after putting this, so whenever we are verifying that thing, that enter valid username, valid password, then click on login button. So before that, what conditions we have satisfied? So obviously for that particular case, we need one valid URL, that is the Gmail URL. Okay, so we have to put it here some valid URL. First we have to enter the valid URL. So until unless we are entering the valid URL, so after entering the valid URL, we are not assuring that we are putting the valid username, valid password, and click on login button, right? So that's why the precondition. So before the steps, what conditions we have followed? That is, we are entering the valid URL. Okay. Then test data. Test data means for that particular testing, what data we are providing. That we are mentioning here that enter valid username. Means, let's say example, my email ID is abc@gmail.com and my valid password is 1234. So test data should be like abc. So here you can see that I have also create another parameter, that is test data. So test data username. So these are the valid username, because this line is for the valid username and valid password. So username abc@gmail.com, password 123456. So these are the valid username. So as we are putting the valid username here, so what should be the expected results? So expected results means what the customer is expecting. What is the business requirement? Okay, so business requirement or customer is expecting that users should able to successfully log into the Gmail page. Means after entering valid username and valid password, and click on the login button, users should able to successfully log into the Gmail. So this is the expected result, and this is the business requirement. Now actual results means whenever we are executing our test case, what we are getting, what result we are getting. So after putting the correct username or valid username and valid password and clicking on the login button, user is successfully logged into the Gmail page. Means we are in real time, we are getting that result. So that is the actual result. So whenever as a tester, whenever we are executing our test case, so that time what result we are getting, that is the actual result. Okay, and expected result means whatever business requirement is. What is the business requirement? What the customer is asking. Okay, so this is the customer requirement. So that's why this is the expected result. So now expected result is user should able to successfully log into the Gmail. Actual results, user is successfully log into the Gmail page. And now this is the status. Status means whenever, so that is the pass. When we can write the status as a pass, whenever our expected results is equal to the actual results. So whenever these two will be equal, actual results and expected results will be equal, then the status will be pass. That means what is the customer requirement? We are satisfying with our project or with our product. Okay, so that's why expected results is equal to actual results, then the status will be the pass. And the comments, if you have any comments, you can write it here. Okay, so these are the for valid username and valid password. Now second test case is that enter valid username, invalid password and login button. So same precondition is the valid URL and test data. So test data, you can see that username is the valid abc@gmail.com, but password, valid password is 123456. But our test case is that we have to put some invalid password. So I am writing here the invalid password is 123. So if we have entering the invalid password, then what should be the expected results? The expected result should be a pop-up message should shown like enter valid username and password. So in your case, you also, you have also already seen this kinds of message in your case. Okay, so whenever we are putting some valid username and invalid password, a message is showing, a required message or a pop-up message is showing like that, enter valid username and valid password. And this is the actual results also. Also, whenever we are executing the test case in real time, we are getting the same, that a pop-up message is showing that enter valid username and valid password. So if the expected results, so what is the expected results? So expected results is that a pop-up message should be shown. And whenever we are testing that same thing, we are getting the same message here. But so this is a fail. Why it's a fail? Because we are entering some invalid password, we are entering some wrong data. So we can make it as a also pass also. We can make it as a pass. So I am just copying it here. So it is a pass. Why it is pass? Because the expected result. What is the expected result? So whenever we are entering valid username, invalid password and clicking on the login button, then a pop-up message should be shown like enter valid username and valid password. And whenever we are executing our test case, we are getting the same message. So that's why it's a pass. But in your case, if after putting the valid username and invalid password, if the user is successfully logged into the Gmail, then it should be the fail. Okay, and same thing for invalid username and valid password. Same, this is the invalid username and this is the valid password, and same message should be shown like enter valid username and password. And same, if we are getting the same result on the actual, then this is also, we can say like a pass. It is also a pass. And same, whenever we are entering invalid username and invalid password and click on the login button, so this is the test data is also the invalid username and invalid password, then same, the pop-up message should be shown like enter valid username and password. And whenever we are executing our test case in our actual results, if that is same as the expected results, then also it should be the pass, because we are getting the same thing here. Okay, so it's a pass. Now when it will be the fail? So when it will fail, suppose let's say I am putting some invalid username and invalid password, or let's say I am putting some invalid username and valid password, and after entering after entering invalid username and valid password, what should be the expected results? The customer expectation is that a pop-up message should be shown like enter valid username and valid password. But in our real case, whenever we are testing our test case, whenever we are executing our test case, then if this is showing that user is successfully logged into the Gmail page, that shouldn't happen, because we are putting some invalid username and valid password and clicking on the login button, and also we are successfully logged into the Gmail page. That means after putting the invalid username, the login is successfully happening. That means it's a fail, it's a issue. So the status should be the fail, like that. The status should be the fail. Also we can take the box, we can fill it as a red box for the highlighting purpose. So it's a fail. Whenever it's a fail, when the actual results is not matching with the expected result, then we can see it as a fail. So if it is fail, then obviously developer will check that it's a fail test case, it's a fail result. Then developer will check their developed thing again, and after the developer get fixed that thing, again we will check that thing, we will retest that thing, and if it is working perfectly fine, then we can make it as a pass. Okay, so this is the basic test case template. So in your case, I am recommended you that in your case you can also write all these things. You can use that parameter names. Okay, it's a standard parameter. It's a standard test case template. So different companies are using different test case template. But as of best, I am using this test case template, and for me it's a standard because everything we are mentioning here. Okay, so in next day or in next module, suppose there is another module that is the test scenario is that test TS Gmail 002. For the second test scenario, it will be 002, and we are checking that, verify that mail is sending or not. Email is sending or not. Okay, then we have to again write the same test case, or as per the sending mail functionality, then we have to write the test case description, test case, test step, etc, etc. Okay, so these are the basic test case template. So please follow that, and in your case you can easily apply that test case. Okay, and one assignment for you, you can do one, I mean, you can create one test case based upon the mail compose functionality. So that is your test case. So mail compose. So you can write the test case based upon that. And if you have any doubt, please let me know. So this is the task. This is the home task. So this is a task for you. Okay. Mail compose functionality. So this is the test case template. So if you guys have any doubt, please comment me. If you guys like my video, one thumbs up and share this video to your nearest friend, and subscribe to my channel EduPaat and stay with me. So see you in the next videos with some another topic of software testing. Thank you.